Hey, so today I'm going to be talking about Liza Presley and Michael Jackson, talking about their relationship. The reason why I want to talk about their relationship is because Michael Jackson been coming up on my radar lately. Mm, Not in the most positive way. At first, he came up on my radar through a short clip. And I thought it was funny. He was doing an interview with Oprah, and she was like trying to ask him a question, and he started beatboxing and just like completely ignoring Oprah. So I thought it was funny, but then I seen another video where Michael Jackson was like low key throwing shade at people. And I just felt like me and Michael Jackson, I don't think that we could have been friends. I do see some toxic traits in Michael Jackson, but I also see the fact that he's very spiritually aware. Um, yeah, I think he just seen a lot of darkness. So he understand darkness in other people. I think that he even understand his own darkness. And I think at some point in his life, he decided to let that darkness like consume him. And I feel like the reason why is because he felt like he had to play dirty because people was playing dirty with him. But see, when we in this spiritual war, some of us, we feel protected because we feel like we have divine protection. Um, And I think that some of us, we lose that divinity. I posted a video about that Constantine on my community post. So, anyways, and I feel like the way that you lose your divine protection is through your own ego, like chasing after egotistical things, being caught up in fear, making very selfish decisions based off of your own selfish desires, especially if your desires um require for other people to get hurt. So if you have a desire that require other people to get hurt, that's a demon. And you need to work on that. You need to heal that because it shouldn't be like that. And it won't just be detrimental to the other people, but it will also be detrimental to you if you continue to behave that way. So I believe that through Michael Jackson actions, because of the rituals of the media, um, when they was ready to touch him, when they was ready to destroy him, he didn't have much divine protection. I feel like he must have had a little bit because, he didn't get jail time. Um, I don't know. I'm picking up something about his mother. Okay, so the one good thing about religion is that when you have true faith in that religion, his mom was a Jehovah Witness and she was very devoted to that. And I believe that she was a praying woman, praying her way into delusion. But I believe that it provide a little bit of protection. And I think that's why Michael was spared in a lot of ways. And I think it's because of her own prayers. But you know, if you knew better, you do better. There's something outside of that because they really accepted crumbs and they could have went for so much more, but they just haven't got to that understanding in their soul evolution. So, I guess they will learn that eventually because they will be coming back, both him and his mama. Anyway, so I was watching the detail. And you know what? When I found out that Liza, I think it's Lisa. When I found out that Lisa, she was a Aquarius sun and Cancer moon, it made sense to me. And I also realized how much the media warp our perception of Lisa because people really label her as a gold digger. Um, People just couldn't believe that she would find Michael Jackson attractive. And you know what? They might be on something. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she said that after her and Michael Jackson divorced, it took her 2 years to get out of this really dark depression. Not just that, they showed pictures of her around that time, and she had like this darkness around her eyes. And I instantly felt like she was like possessed with something. And I got the feeling like Michael Jackson drained her. And I think that he did it on purpose because at the time that he got with her, he was going through that trial. And I do think that he was using her to make himself look more innocent. But I'm also getting a vibe that the way that Michael Jackson he chose her through the industry. Oh boy. I mean, going through water, y'all. Yep. I still got the mug. You can find it on my shop in the description. So yeah, and I think that I don't think he just used her. I think that he also attached something from her. And I think that he also drained something from her. It's something relevant about her being Presley daughter. Hmm. And it doesn't even belong to Presley. Presley was like created. Elvis, he was like created. Um, he was also embedded with certain DNA, and that's what Michael Jackson was going for. But it wasn't about Elvis. It was about before Elvis. Um, Elvis is connected to something before he was like born, like other artists. You will understand what I'm saying if you go listen to the Orlando Brown reading. But and I'm really getting a vibe that Michael Jackson had like a certain mentality about he getting back something that was stolen. I'm really picking up on that. So I think that he used that mentality to overcome guilt because he felt like something was like owed to him. Mm. And he felt like he was getting it back. But I do feel like he was like performing a ritual on Lisa. And I felt like there was a reason why she was attracted to him. I do feel like, yeah, if you go listen to I see their face, but I don't forgot both. Oh, Safari and Erica. You will understand what I'm talking about because sometimes to do like these love spells, the love rituals, they will somehow, when it comes to women, they will somehow harvest the energy of the father, of that woman, father. And something about this will make the woman attracted to this man, regardless of what he looked like, regardless if it makes sense, like a love spell. When you are under a love spell, um, you will be confused of why you love this person, why you so attracted to them, why you so attached. And something won't feel right. So like something will feel off, like confusion. And when you look at Lisa interviews, you will see her go through that. You will see her like trying to be honest, like, yeah, I was in love with him. Yeah, I was attracted to him. I really want to be married to him. And she said that she had like kind of like an obsession with taking care of Michael. And that could just be because she had like a Cancer moon. So she felt the need to like protect him, save him, be motherly to him, because she also was aware that he was surrounded by people who didn't really care about him. And she also was aware that he was a damaged person. So she tried to love him to the best of her abilities, but she did say that he was intoxicating, like she had a hard time like resisting him, but it's almost like she didn't even know where it came from, you know? So, okay, let's go ahead and get into the reading and we're going to ask about it. First, let's start out with Michael Jackson. Let's start out with his, no, we're going to start with Lisa, what type of person she is. What type of person is Lisa? If I don't continue to drink water, like I would feel like tired or whatever. Like water been so important right now. You could do it. All right, testing. All right, Lisa personality. Oh hell, motherfucking no! Those cards fell all the way over there. Hold on. All right, Lisa personality. To be honest, I don't know what else has Lisa done. Like when it comes to her career, did she act? Is she a singer? Like they say that she's a songwriter. Okay. All right. So because it do really feel like her whole existence has been tied into Michael Jackson, because that's like the only thing that I can remember about her. So, she was in some way indoctrinated, came out in shadow, violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. Mm, yo, is something about this. Ooh, 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 ooh. See, I'm actually feeling that they did not want Lisa to get with Michael. And the reason why they didn't want that to happen is because of something spiritual. They did not want Lisa to mate with him. They did not want them to become contracted, because that marriage contract translate to something else. All right, tell me about that, about the marriage contract. Because Michael felt like he was getting something back, something that was owed to him energetically, because Michael knew something. He knew something when it comes to the occult world or something like that. I think Michael used to have psychic friends, like psychics and shit like that. Yeah, foresight, planning, strategy. Mm-hmm. This relationship was something strategic, but I feel like it was mostly strategic on Michael end. If anything, hold on, y'all. These chords, like, in okay. Hmm. Utilitarian, organized, intimidating, responsibilities, lessons, growing up. You know what? I'm also getting um because Syrian B is connected to something. It's connected to some tribe in Africa. It's something about bloodline. He was getting something back. I'm hearing birthright. Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. I think that something was stolen from Michael lifetimes ago. And by him coming into union with Lisa, because Elvis had what was stolen from Michael. So it somehow passed down in the bloodline. And he was going to get that shit back. Like, he was on a mission when he dated Lisa. He was like, yo, these motherfuckers are trying me. And you know what? I'm finna get back my motherfucking birthright. I'm finna finesse this shit. I'm finna yada yada yada. Cause somebody gave him the keys. Like, I think that he had like powerful psychics in his pockets. I think that, yeah, 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 yeah. Responsibilities, lessons, growing up. This is a conflict from lifetimes ago. Also, I'm picking up on the fact that Michael is he's a very like intellectual type person. He even militant in a way. Michael is militant. Like he don't really play like that. He don't play games like that. And that's so weird because, he was childlike seemingly, but I think that he just liked the children because they had a purity to them. Something about that though. But yeah, he give me this vibe. Like this could be Michael Jackson's soul group right here. Philosophical philosophy, releasing karma, mysticism. Hell motherfucking yeah. Michael is into mystical shit. Like I'm even seeing like a Ouija board. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. He was into the occult. He was. And he was into like I'm hearing Thoth. Mm, I'm hearing Thoth. He giving like that type of energy. If you really knew Michael, he read. He was into books. Um, mm, he also had a thirst for knowledge. Like Michael used his resources and his money to go out and seek certain knowledge, hidden knowledge at that, because he was really intrigued with hidden knowledge. Um, I am seeing Michael at a party talking to somebody, and somebody is telling him about some secrets, like on a societal level, like secret societies. And Michael is listening, but the person was trying to get Michael to join them. Michael didn't want to join whatever that was, but he became aware that it was all these different secret societies out there. And I think he sucked out a society that he wanted to join. And he did know about the Dracons. I want some clarity to his relation to these Dracon, these Drake. Lord have mercy. Let's try these right here. His relation to these Dracons. What was Michael's relation to these Dracons? Honor, good luck. The forces of nature favor you, but as reverse. A barrier keeps you from your goal. Reverse. Okay, so to be real, I'm thinking that he kind of joined forces with the Dracons. The reason is because he knew that they were gatekeepers. And this came up in reverse. So he felt like to get where he wanted to go, he had to go through them. He had to like submit to them. Or, hmm, yo. Okay, okay, okay. Mm. Um, there's a reason why Michael started to lose his melanin. Ooh. It's when he joined forces with these Dracons. That was like a side effect of him doing that. Cause it was like him giving away his divinity. So he started to lose his melanin. That's why this card came out reverse. The forces of nature favor you. It came out in reverse because by him joining teams with them, because I think he did a ritual, it offended. It offended somebody else or something, but it has something to do with I'm really feeling like Michael became like a fallen angel when he did that. That's why he started to lose his melanin. Hmm. And I think he did it for protection, power. Michael wanted more power because he felt like more power will lead to freedom. He felt like that was the way out. Mm. He had a rough start, you know. He was thrown into this business really young. He was groomed since he was a kid. And but even with that, we all have some type of spiritual awareness in us that you don't have no choice but to take accountability for your actions. It's never anybody else's fault. And you know, even when you're a child, and I know that that's controversial and stuff like that, but you might not, okay, like let's say that you get abused as a child, that's not your fault that you got abused, but what you do with that lesson is going to be your fault. If you was somebody who got abused and you fall into the mentality of, you know, well, people hurt me, so I'm going to hurt people back. So you become an abuser just like the person who abused you. At some point, there was a spiritual exchange. There was a path that opened and you had to choose. And your choice was to either fall victim to fear or to be fearless. Um, and a lot of times people fall victim to fear. Okay. Now you have like multiple options as you like, okay, let's say that when you was younger, you chose fear. In the future, you will have another opportunity to choose something else. And a lot of times people would continue to choose fear because of their own insecurities. Because usually people choose fear because they can't choose themselves because they don't trust themselves. They don't trust their own divinity. They don't believe in their own divinity. So they feel like they have the power already in them, but they constantly feel like they have to chase power. They have to gain it because they feel powerless. But a person who already feel powerful within themselves, they won't feel the need to look for it externally. But Michael Jackson, he was very insecure and he made really bad decisions when it comes to spirituality. Yeah. So okay, let's go back to finding out about Lisa, what type of person she was. What I was asking about when I pulled these cards, I was asking oh, why he did this contract, what was the importance of the contract with getting married to her. Um, both the Syrians A and B came out. So it's something very relevant to this. Um, this one came out reverse: artistic integrity, honesty, responsibilities, lessons, growing up. Okay, so this came out upright when this one came out reverse. And I think that this is pointing at like duality. Like Michael logical side override his like right brain, his like intuitive side and everything like that. So also another side effect when he started to work with the Dracons and stuff like that is that Michael actually started to lose his creativity as he was losing his melanin. I think that there was even a point where he was making a lot of music because he knew he was losing his creativity. So at some point, he was making like a lot of music as he was losing his melanin. And the whole point of this was to harvest his creativity before he lost it. That way, he could always go back in his archives and remix it and produce something new out of all the music that he created because he was losing his creativity. So he knew he was doing that too. He knew that was happening. So the shadow self came out because majority of Michael life, he operated out of his shadow self. Um, I feel like Michael is really big on respect, like being proper, carrying yourself in a certain type of way. Um, doing the right thing, very Virgo, very Virgo. And it made him very self-critical and it made him very critical on other people. But it's a lot of things that he couldn't see clearly. Because his shadow self really consumed and took over him. It really controlled him. He has such major insecurities, especially when he started to lose his melanin. He became crippling insecure. And I don't think that Michael identified with being white, but it's almost like because he was losing his melanin, he, to not lose his mind, he started to see himself as white because he was turning white. Mm. Okay, so the Nephilim came out. See, for a long time, we've been in a spiritual war, but there's been like a lot of speculations and stuff about the ending of this war and how it's going to end. And certain people, they knew what was happening, like the Great Awakening and everything, but they wasn't telling people below them what was happening because they wanted people to continue to sell their soul to them. So people is actually now figuring out that they shouldn't have did that. It wasn't worth it. They are figuring that out now. That karma is hitting them really hard and they are suffering. Um, they sold their divinity for power and greed and money. And these Nephilim motherfuckers made a lot of promises, made a lot of promises to these people like, you're gonna gain all this power, you're gonna get all this materialism, like the law would never be able to touch you and everything, all alone knowing that this great awakening is coming. And they knew that it was likely for them to lose, but they was still trying to win. So what they was trying to do is get people to believe in their vision. And Michael was one of those people who believed and got fucked up. He got fucked up and he got betrayed. Because the thing is, like, these Dracons and shit, like, they don't have no sense of loyalty at all. Um, and if they feel like it was more beneficial to kill you, to throw you under the bus, they would do it without hesitation. Because to them, you don't even really matter. Like they see you as weak, stupid. They don't even respect you. So they see you as very disposable. Ooh, that was good. That was good. That was good. When you haven't eat from for a while and you drink water and you can feel the water going all the way like through your intestines and stuff like that. Anyways, let's go. So Liza, I was asking about her personality. Okay. Mm. When she was a baby, she was indoctrinated into something, some type of secret society. This was just based off of the fact that she carrying the curse of whatever her dad did, Elvis. So energetically, Liza carries some type of energy with some type of birthright inside of it, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Mm. But she was chosen as in, oh, okay. She was chosen to be the one who break the generational curses. And as she is still living, she still have the opportunity to do that. Lisa, you still have the opportunity to be the generational curse breaker. She was chosen for that position. This is why this card is coming out. It was already ordained for this situation with Michael to happen. Um, but it's something about like her spiritual team that they really want her to win. Um, um, she didn't pass that test. I'm gonna say that, but she had more tests, and as she is living, she still have time, and she had passed like other tests, but when it came to the test with Michael, she did not pass it. I wonder why. I wonder why. And why she didn't pass the test with Michael? Why she didn't pass it? Why Spirit is saying that she failed that one? Okay, they are saying because she didn't really take up for herself and she was just way too loyal to Michael. She was actually supposed to like speak her truth, reveal some things. I think that it's still secrets that Lisa is holding on to today that she was supposed to reveal, but she instead let fear take over her. And Lisa, if you want to pass that test, you will have to talk about your story. Um, and you can't do it in a cowardly way. I feel like, every so often she get the balls to do it, but then she start to sugarcoat it, start talking in code, not being direct, start feeling guilty about telling people secrets, start putting other people feelings over her own. Cause I think that she's a very sweet person. But she need backbone. She gotta stand up for herself. You got to stop being a fucking coward. If she wanna pass it, and if she don't, she just gonna miss out. But you got other lifetimes. Like, I don't want people to feel bad about, yeah, this is too many cars, about failing a test. Because we all fail tests sometimes. Why did she? Okay, the siren came out. A temptation may lead you astray. Michael was a siren to her, and I don't think that she necessarily was supposed to resist him because I do feel like they had a spiritual contract together that they had to fulfill. But she was supposed to take a different route. A lot of times in these spiritual war, you are supposed to defeat your opponent. That's just the truth. You're supposed to, because that's what they're trying to do with you, and that's what Michael did to her. He was able to cast her into hell, and to this day, she still haven't fully got out of that hell that he put her in. Um, so yeah, and that's the issue. That's the issue. Like, we are in a spiritual war. And I'm not saying defeat your opponent by, you supposed to do it with integrity. You supposed to do it with your heart, with compassion, empathy in your heart. You are breaking the generational curses, not making them worse. But Lisa, she was supposed to stand up to Michael because she had to come to the realization that he lied to her about a lot of things. He used her. I think to this day, she won't point out the fact that Michael was a narc. She won't do that because she still feel a sense of loyalty to him. Even him being dead, he's still holding on to her energy. And, you know, it is what it is. It happens. Yeah, see that? This came out reverse. Let your intentions be known. Okay? This came out reverse though. And you know what? With this right here, your luck would soon change. She had the universe. Mm-mm-mm. The universe gave her so many opportunities. Every time that you seen Lisa doing an interview with somebody and they asked her about Michael Jackson, that was the universe giving her the opportunity to speak her truth. And she did not take it. She did not take it. And you see this man, he playing an instrument. I think because of that, she lost her birthright. I don't think that she was able to make music anymore. Like after that, like she really struggled with making music. She really struggled with getting in tune with her creativity. She really struggled with that because she didn't, she lost her birthright and she didn't even fight for it like she was supposed to. And it's because, she's scary. She's scary for real, y'all. And as a Aquarius, you got the tools. You got the motherfucking tools. That Cancer Moon, dude. Like that's where the moon is home at. But sometimes it just make you too caring. That Cancer energy just it could make you a doormat in a millisecond. So you got to be careful with that Cancer energy. Um, hmm. I think that she also had addictions. Promises, integrity, and honesty allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Oh Lord, Lisa is just really. She has some deep fears that cause extreme anxiety, and when she experienced this anxiety, she shut down and she become extremely fearful. Like y'all have no idea how fearful this girl is. Like she would have the type of fear that she don't even want to come out the house sometimes, or she think people is following her, which is true, but they can't really do shit to you, especially if you have divine protection. And I think that's something that she still has. Like you better use it though. You better fucking use it. You supposed to use it by being brave. That's why you have the divine protection so that you could help eradicate this shit. Okay. So, I refuse to be afraid. Like, fuck that shit. I still go walking at night. I still live my life. I still live my motherfucking life. Like, once you start to fear them and believe that they will hurt you, and how because even if you consciously telling yourself, like, I'm not afraid of them, like, fuck them, I'm not afraid. How if you're really not afraid is pay attention if, like, let's say you really wanted to say something, you really wanted to do something, but you having thoughts like, oh, if I reveal this, they gonna take me out like JFK. If I reveal this, they gonna do me like such and such. When that shit ain't even real. They just did it so that you could believe that it's real. They really can't do shit. But that's hard for people to believe, especially when they keep putting out these fabricated stories and people keep believing in the story. Like look what the fuck happening with that Shaquina shit. Like I don't really pay attention to it, but I just be seeing like the thumbnails and it's like dumb as hell. And I'm just keep thinking about Ghazi. Like, how the fuck they able to arrest Ghazi so quickly, but yet these motherfuckers are on camera. killing this girl, but nobody in jail yet. It's because they trying to use it as a distraction. Like even the people who they facing prison time, they ain't worried. They chilling. These motherfuckers chilling. So it's stupid. It's a distraction and just y'all, man, wake the fuck up, please, y'all. Just wake the fuck up, cause I don't give a fuck. Like I don't give a fuck like that. I give a fuck enough to let you know. But if you decide to stay asleep, I'm not gonna feel any way about it. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, you know. I'm not going to over invest into it. Mm-mm. All right, storyteller, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Yeah, that was her whole purpose. She was put through this situation to reveal something. Eliza, I keep calling her Eliza Lisa. She knows some things. I'm gonna see if she wrote a book because I feel like she probably did. Yeah, it's a book called The Girl Who Survived. Child, oh my God. Yeah, but I don't know. Elvis, my dad, the unauthorized biography, so she wasn't the one who wrote it. Mm. Okay, her mom might be a reptilian. That just came up in my head. She's 54 years old. Girl, you better get to living. Like, I think that she a good person. It's just that she's scary. She let her anxieties control her. It's so bad to the point that the people around her that do care about her, they frustrated. Cause I think people are actually telling her like, yo, you really need to tell your story. You really need to speak your truth. I believe that she have angels that come in her life. I'm also seeing her go to spiritualists and they tell her like, yo, you gotta tell your fucking story. And she be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it one day, but then she make all these excuses. And usually the excuses have to do with other people. Girl, be that as it may. God card came out. What I'm getting from this immediately is that she is not listening to her inner God. Um, she did say that she eventually got out of the depression of Michael, but no, that's not true. She's still in it. She's still in that dark hell that he put her in, and she can't hear God. It's something going on with Lisa that she's supposed to have strong intuition. She's supposed to be like a great songwriter and shit like that. Like she had like a ton of potential, but she can't access it because she won't do what she came here to do. there would have been such a change in history if Lisa would have spoke her truth. It would have changed so much. Seeker, inability to commit to a path once found. All right, so when we looking at Lisa, we looking at a motherfucker that you don't want to be. Don't be like Lisa. Don't be a coward. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Speak your motherfucking truth. Hurting somebody's feelings. Don't be afraid of your divinity. And Lisa is a prime example of what not to be. And you know what's so beautiful about divinity and the universe is that the lessons that we are supposed to learn from Lisa by her being chosen by her ancestry, we are still learning it. We learning it in a manner of what not to fucking do. Because Lisa is a coward. Be that as it may. All right, let's go on. Let's go on to Michael, pick up on his personality. I think there's somebody out there who know too, like a time traveler. They are real. I don't know how they do it, but they know how. Some people out there, they know how to time travel. There's also some people who know how to go between different dimensions. So there's somebody, could be on the internet somewhere, who is telling the story of like an alternative, like they talking about that whole situation in a different way. Like instead of Lisa being afraid to speak up, she actually did. And I think Michael actually went to jail. I'm gonna shuffle these real good. All right, I'm gonna split them, shuffle them, and then come back. Yeah, I took the longest break ever, like the longest break. I was just posting pictures and everything. I got into like a reminiscent type mode and stuff like that. Um, I was thinking about my brother. Michael Jackson personality. Okay, so I do believe that Michael Jackson is a test tube, baby. I'm getting that Michael Jackson was sold as a baby. Like I'm really getting strong energy from his dad. Like his dad, like, okay, Came out in shadow. Pessimism, depression, disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Yeah, I don't get the vibe that he a test tube baby, like created in the lab per se, but I do feel like in a moment of desperation, their dad sold his kids to the industry really young. What's so weird is that that was all created. Like his dad was purposely put under pressure. Like they could have like took away his job or something like that, or increase the cost of living in their area or something like that. Something that really put them on the edge of survival. And after they put Joe in that position, they came to him. Gotta get this seat comfortable. Okay. They came to him and offer him something. Here in Motown. Cause these was black people who came to him. It was not white people. I'm seeing black people come to his door and being like, um, yo, we've been watching you and your kids, and we feel like they can start a music group or something like that. And, all you have to do is like sign this contract. I do wonder, what did Joe know about the contract? What did Joe know about the contract? What did Joe know about this contract? Because he knew something that wasn't typical. Yeah, look, the siren card came out. Release actions lead to conflict. He knew he was making like a spiritual decision. I do not feel like this is just like something typical, like what you expected, like what we seen in Jackson 5. It wasn't like that. It was more like a motherfucking ritual, but it was like really in Joe's face. He was put on to something. It was almost like making a deal with the devil. Like they came to him and was like, yo, we want to buy your soul and your kid's soul. But he knew that in the future that his kids would hate him. He knew that. That was the price he had to pay, but they was telling him that, you know, in the future, because of a certain age or something, they will be able to make their own decisions, sign like a new contract, but under their own choice, under their own free will. And Joe was told that when this happened, something energetically was going to shift and his kids was going to hate him. Like he knew that. He knew that. But they told him that he would still make a lot of money. So your kids would hate you, but you would make a lot of money. Okay, this came out reverse. Your surroundings will undergo transition. See, it came out reverse because the transition was going to be something heartbreaking. But he knew that. He knew that when he was signing the contract, like he knew the spiritual aspect of this. How did he know? Like some clarity? Like how did they come to him? How did they come to him? Motherfucking gatekeepers. Motherfucking gatekeepers. Mm-hmm. Deal with the devil. There is a sense of rivalry in this. Like, I do feel like when Joe made this decision, he was at a crossroads and he was in a very fucked up position. But see, that's why people should have faith in the spiritual, because if he didn't sign that contract, if he would have went in a different direction off of his faith, not his greed, he would have been taken care of. It might have would have took a little bit of time, but he would have been taken care of. He would have been blessed by the divine. Well, at least his kids would have, because I felt like Joe has already made like a lot of selfish decisions or whatever. Joe was already something. Um, I feel like Joe was already contracted. I think that maybe when Joe was younger, I'm hearing music group. So maybe was that in the Jackson 5? Like, was Joe a musician? He had to be if he was teaching them. Because I'm seeing a group or something. When Joe was younger, he like made a deal with the devil type energy. That's real, but it's not, don't forget the religious way. Um, it's more practical than you think, but just as detrimental, just as deadly, but it's a real thing, you know. But if you get caught up in the religious outlook of it, um, you would just get lost. The power of nature favor you. This came out again. This came out again. This came out with Michael Jackson, and this came out with Lisa. And then in the middle, this came out reverse. A close friend acts on your behalf. Yeah, because you know what? Joe might have even seeked out this contract. Like, yo, man, I'm really struggling for money. I'm willing to sign some shit if I could just get out of this situation, stop struggling like I'm struggling. So he was looking for a contract to sell like over his kids. But he knew that because this came in reverse. And it also came up in reverse for Michael because when Michael came into the age of consent, I believe that's when he met the person in the club. And Michael decided on his own to sell his soul to the devil. But he had an opportunity to choose different, but he took the same route as his father. And when they do this, it's like they go against God. So this come up in reverse. And, you know, it's like it makes them curse. It makes them curse. I'm hearing envy, like they curse with envious feelings. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'm getting a visual of this movie, TV show. I think it's called Ars, Ares. It's on Netflix. They was worshiping Baal, and they would at times throw up this black goo. But this black goo, it's like if they would have had just made a sacrifice, like let's say they sacrifice a baby, and they feel extreme guilt, shame for their actions. they will throw it up. They will throw up the guilt and the shame of it. And then after they throw it up, they don't feel nothing. They don't feel no guilt, they don't feel no shame, and they don't feel like they have to take responsibility for their actions. But it's an illusion because you still accountable. Like you still will pay for what you do, but something about worshiping these deities would take away um conviction that you feel when you do fucked up shit. And that's what happened to them because they were suffering like similar reasons too. Like Michael and his dad is very similar in a lot of ways, actually. Um, and they knew making this deal with the gatekeeper that they would be given something that would take away those really negative feelings, like those feelings of shame and guilt and embarrassment. But they also will be cursed because those feelings are a part of our evolution. And a lot of times, the divine will give us those feelings of feeling convicted when we do something wrong to protect ourselves from karmic debt, accumulating karmic debt. So that's why those feelings are even there, you know. Some of us are like empath and overly compassionate, and we be feeling those feelings when we don't really have a reason to, but a lot of times that's because other people will project that onto us and we carry it. But, you know, your divine protection is better than anything that these motherfuckers can give you, these motherfucking gatekeepers, because all they could do is give you a band aid. But the divine will give you real solutions. So you ain't gonna be throwing up no black goo and don't feel responsible for your actions anymore. No, the divine will show you how to truly heal from what you're suffering from. But see, people, they block out that awareness because they don't want to take accountability, and they so hungry for egotistical things, for power and money, that they throw away the spiritual and feel like that's not important. All right, let's continue with his personality. Yeah, I looked over and seen the oracle card. That's because I feel like both Michael and his dad, they have ties to the occult. Like they have tarot readers, psychics, and stuff that they go to on a regular to learn what is going on in the spiritual realm. I'm also hearing that it's to make certain business deals in the spiritual realm. They will go to certain psychics because they could channel certain deities, certain demons. I'm hearing they could channel those things, and they could make spiritual contracts through these mediums, through these psychics and shit like that. Okay. Yeah, Michael, he has an issue with greed. It's really bad. He been dealing with it for many lifetimes. It's just something that is so hard for him to overcome. He will have to come back and do it again. But I'm hearing that it's going to be even harder because instead of getting rid of certain karmic lessons, he accumulated more. He didn't do good this last lifetime. He didn't. I also think that recently, maybe in his past life, Michael was a woman. So he do have a deep understanding when it comes to women. Uh he might even use his sexuality like a woman would. Inappropriate use of sensuality attached to money and power. Michael did a whole lot of strange things for a piece of change. Some of it though, he was forced into, especially when he was a child. I think that he was actually put through a ritual to be molested when he was a child. Yeah. Um, I'm just seeing him going into a hotel, his dad taking him, his dad knowing what is about to happen. But there's a part of it. There's a part of it. So there's a strong hatred and distrust that the Jackson children have when they come to their father, and it's valid. Because especially when you give children to the industry, they take them through a ritual where they would break the child. Samaritan came out reverse, is exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. What I'm getting from this card is that, man, yo, Michael wasn't that good of a person, yo. Like, he was very smart. So, and he was very aware. So, Michael is an old soul. And in some ways, he could see the big picture, but it is clouded with greed and power and stuff like that and money. His vision is clouded. Like, Michael would promote a situation or say that he's a part of like Black Lives Matter or something like that in order to get the recognition, because but he understand what he is doing on an energetic level. He understand that he is energy harvesting. So when he make decisions to be for a cause, it's solely for power and money and nothing else. Like, he really don't care like that. He's very he actually lack compassion and empathy, but I do see that he respects realness. That's why he liked children, but it's something about that. Because I think that he was absorbing the energy from the children. Oh, especially when he started to lose his melanin, he started to need children energy. Yo, Michael Jackson is not a good person, yo. I don't know if in the past I called him a good person and stuff. Maybe I wasn't seeing it fully, but he had issues. Liberator came out reverse. Yeah. Michael knew how to make himself look like a liberator, make himself look like he cared about love, peace, treating people fairly. He was what you would call like proper. He believed in being like etiquette, like etiquetely, something like that. He believed that you should present yourself in a certain type of way. He did believe that. Imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. I feel like that's tied into the children. Um, there was a form of abuse between Michael and the kids, but it's not what you think. There was a mind games. It was mind games. But I do feel like if things would have continued, like Neverland Ranch or whatever it called, like if kids was continue to go there, eventually it would have turned into something like what they was claiming him of. I don't think that it got to that point, but I do feel like grooming was taking place. I do feel like he was mentally starting to groom these children. And if you are on the outside looking in, it would look innocent. It would look innocent, but he was actually very controlling. But it was in a very subtle way. Mm. And this came up under the child magical card. So yeah, this is tied into his childhood traumas. He do have an issue with stunted growth, but you also have to understand that he is an old soul. So even when he was a child, he was pretty grown. Like you can might even ask people like knew him who knew him when he was a child, they would be like, yo, when I would talk to him, it would be like talking to a grown man. They will say that. Like at times he would give off a vibe that he's like a grown man. Um, oh, I also felt like this came up under the child magical card is because he's energy harvesting from children, particularly because it's something about that is potent. It's more potent than harvesting from like an adult. And I think it's because children have a purity to them. Uh, why would he choose? Why would he choose children to harvest from? Why would he choose children to harvest from? Because children are easier to tap into, because they are naive. See, this is why he don't use adults. Uncertainty, distrust, guarded. If he was to use adults, he would look for adults that are broken. Um, he would look for adults that, like Lisa, been kind of sheltered, kind of naive, kind of childlike. He would look for adults like that to harvest from. But in the industry, that's hard to find because you grow up fast in the industry. So that's why he used children and that's why he had children. Because after everything happened, he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have my own kids and harvest from them. because it would be easier. Now, I do think that he had a sense of love for these kids and he also wanted to take good care of them. Um, I don't feel like he was like sadistic with his kids. There was grooming, yes, but it wasn't to the point that his kids will actually remember it. Like it might take them to old age to truly see it and process it. That's too many cards. Too many cards. All right, I just want one more to represent why he harvests from children. Oh, damn. Okay, Nephilim came out again. Every time I see the Nephilim, I think about the spiritual war that we're going through and what's about to happen. So he also, because when you move up in certain Reiki and these secret societies, they will give you certain information that the public don't know. So he knew something about this, but he didn't know that the possibility of them losing was so motherfucking high. Warrior, passion, fearlessness. This came up in reverse. What I'm getting from this card is that it's also easier to harvest from children because you could more easily put them in a vibration that you need. Like if you need to make a child afraid, you could just watch a scary movie with them and they will get into that fear state very easily. So that's another reason because it was easier for them to be put in certain vibrations to be harvest. It was just easier to harvest from them. All right, child internal also came out reverse. Inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security. So what I'm getting from this card that there was a longing in Michael to be able to relive his childhood. And I think that's due to trauma. It was kind of like he was trying to recreate the childhood so he could erase the old memories. That is something that he tried to do. Even if he had like other motives, one of his motives was to try to correct his childhood because he thought that that would heal him. I also got mystic. There's an issue with celebrities and mystics. Like, yes, they have access to very powerful mediums and psychics, but a lot of times these mediums and psychics get corrupt by money and power and shit and fame that they will purposely start misleading people for motives of the secret societies that want to control these people. So delusional report with the divine. I think that one of Michael connects misled him in a lot of ways on purpose. Now, these people are good because first they will give you such good readings and they will make you believe in them because they are actual psychics and they are good. But then once you trust them, they will manipulate that and they will use that to control you. Some of them would use fear tactics to continue to get as much money as they can out of you. You know how when you go to those psychics in the shops and they be like, after you get your reading, and they be like, well, you need a cleansing and it's gonna be $300. And if I cleanse you, then yada yada yada. They do that fear shit. Yeah, I had one person who did that, and I ain't never go back to her. Like, and when I was leaving out, like I told her thank you for the reading, but she like started smoking a cigarette because it's almost like she felt guilt. I felt like when psychics they get a shop and now they have to pay these high ass bills and stuff like that. Getting a $20 reading every once in a while, $50 reading every once in a while is not enough to pay for that building. So now they have to get into the energy of finessing people. And that's hard on a spiritual person. They will actually start to lose their spiritual gifts doing that, taking advantage of that too much. So trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. Indifference to the sufferings inflicted on others. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Warrior and shadow attribute. Michael was fighting for like the wrong causes. He was fighting out of his greed, out of his fears, actually. And he has a lack of compassion for other people because he has experienced so much suffering. But that's why accountability is important and also freeing to the individual, because um you will realize that through your decisions certain things manifested. And if you realize that, then you won't manifest that in the future, you know. But a lot of people lack accountability. They don't even know where to start. And they just, at some point, people just get so taken over by their shadow that they just, taking accountability would just be way too painful for them to handle. So they just don't do it. So I also got the Virgin card that came out reverse. Fear of intimate union. I'm feeling like sex was always traumatic to Michael. Um I feel like majority of the times that he did have sex, it was because of a motive. Um Either he wanted to connect with somebody or he wanted to gain something energetically or something like that, because he ain't never like really just had sex because he enjoyed it. It wasn't for the passion. It wasn't for the nut. Um, it wasn't even for forming connections. I really feel like he felt like sex was just like, if he didn't have to have sex, he wouldn't. But I think in some situations, he knew that sex was important to either the person that he was with or something like that. And he knew how powerful sex was on an energetic level. So he never really had a good connection with sex, you know. I don't think that he ever had healing sex. Um, let's see. How do Michael view sex? How do Michael view sex? How did Michael view sex? Mm. Okay, I felt like he would prefer to like have sex in the 5D, like have sex in his mind with somebody. Because I think that actual sex gave him like a lot of anxiety. He also required somebody that was a bit dominant, like tell me what to do and I do it. Because, if you gave Michael instructions on how to please you, he could do it. Like he could do it and he will do it. But it's something that he kind of felt like it was kind of like a job or something like that. I feel like his first like sexual experiences was kind of rough. Like, um, mm, it's something behind his sexual trauma. It really triggers him. Um, he might have even liked to be degraded on some level. He also learned that he felt like women liked it a little rough. So sometimes he would do that, you know, just because of what he learned or something. I'm actually picking up on Diana. Um, Diana taught him a lot about sex, and some of it was like kinky, like faster, harder, because Diana like sex in that way. And from whatever he learned from her, he kind of just carry it with him throughout the rest of his life. Um, it's kind of hard to picture, but he was a bit dominant. He was a bit dominant, but that's because that's what he learned from Diana. Women like. Um, I don't think that Michael had a whole lot of sex, but when he did, I don't think that he liked to use a condom because I feel like he always wanted to have kids. Like he always wanted to like get somebody pregnant or something like that. So, Michael will have risky sex. Like he did have it before, but he kind of selective of his sexual partners when he could be, I'm hearing. Um, it's also he knew something about STDs that made him not afraid of it. He felt like if he caught a STD, he knew how to get rid of any STD because he knew something about it. Also, rubber. Mm. Condoms actually block certain energetic exchange when it comes to sex. And he knew that, and that's another reason why he didn't want to use a condom, because he was like, I gotta absorb this energy, while I can. I realize you want me just as bad as I want you. What I'm getting from that is that Michael would choose partners from a distance, and then he would kind of like manipulate the energy or something to get that person to be attracted to him. Because I'm hearing that he was very afraid of rejection. So I feel like Michael would like choose a person from a distance, and then he might even go to like a spiritualist and do something like a love spell. But I'm hearing a chant. He had access to certain knowledge. He had like a chant or something like that. He had a ritual that he can do that will make who he want to be attracted to him. And he used this whenever he wanted to. And it made him feel like he could get anybody he wanted. Um, yeah, there's a few women in the industry that dealt with him, and they would tell you that they fell in love with him and they just don't know how or why, and it was sudden. Um, just like this Lisa girl, there was a sense of confusion. Okay. I'm seeing a dark skinned girl. Mm. Because there's a difference. Like there are such thing as like love at first sight and stuff like that. You come across some people and you just recognize them, and it's just like a knowing. But with that knowing is clarity. You know, when you under a love spell, it just always feel like confusion. Always. So, that's the difference. That's how you tell the difference. Cause I don't want people to be afraid to love. Like if you come across a person and you just fall in love with them instantly, um, like, okay, a lot of people are afraid of love. So you might question it. You might question, like, do I love this person or is it something else? Is it lust or something like that? But if it's something that is divine, you will get clarity. Um, like you would trust your intuition, you would get signs, like you would get clarity. And that clarity will help diffuse any of the confusion. But with love spells, no. Through the whole process, you will feel confused. And if you really, like, let's say that you have a conversation with a friend, you probably should have like recorded or something so you could go back and listen to it, and you would even hear yourself talking about it like you confused. Like, man, I don't know why I feel like this about this person. I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know why. You would hear the confusion in your own voice. That's why journaling is important. Okay, let's continue. Let's get into their relationship. Well, damn, I already don't said a whole lot, but let's see what we could get into. Like, how was their relationship? Yeah. All right, what was the dynamic of their relationship? 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 Okay, so I'm going to pull a few cards specifically for both of them. These cards I already pulled is like connecting both of them, but the dynamics for Michael. Mm. What was the dynamics for Lisa? What was the dynamics for Lisa? Put Lisa cards over here. I'm gonna talk about him. All right. Mm. All right, so the first card that came out was the Monk Nun. Hmm. Selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. Okay. This right here is really picking up on the energy that Lisa was talking about. She said that when she was in a relationship with Michael, she felt very devoted to him and she felt really responsible for him. Um, she said that it just brought her so much joy to like take care of him and cater to him. Why is that though? Why did she get so much joy because of that? Why did she get so much joy from taking care of him? I'm really getting like she don't really love herself. Yeah. And I also felt like, you know, she felt maybe like she wasn't important or something like that. She had like a lot of insecurities and she felt like Michael validated her in some type of way. She felt like the king of pop being interested in her or she did feel like she could get something out of this because in the middle is the queen of pentacles. I really get the feeling that she was looking for a sense of security and I felt like she thought that you know this would have helped her with her career, this would have helped her be stable, this would have helped her to get into certain doors. She did find it to be beneficial. She thought it was going to be, but I don't think that's what she got. Yeah, because Michael is a workaholic, obsessed with success, financially secure, stubborn, argumentative, and relentless. Consistently pessimistic, no sense of humor, doesn't believe in wasting time, hard on himself, well educated and opinionated. So Michael, being in a relationship with Michael, you feel alone. Um, he's a workaholic and he obsessed with success. Um, and he also have a weird sense of humor, but it could be very heartbreaking. Like Michael could say things to people and it could fuck up like their whole day. Like, you know how Virgos is, they be slick with the mouth, but he knew how to hit you with it hurt. And he will hurt your ass. Like, and he's very critical. Like, if you doing something and he feel like you doing it wrong, like he will tell you in a way that it would make you feel dumb as fuck. When instead he could have just teach you. He could have been patient with you. He didn't have to say it like that, but then he would feel like he don't have time for that because he too busy on his success. So he was very impatient and she felt very neglected in a relationship. um I was asking why did she want to take care of him. I think that she might have been going through financial struggles at the time. Like maybe her career wasn't going like how she wanted. She was worried about her future. That's what I'm getting. Like she was worried about her security. I'm also getting a vibe with this monk nun card is that whatever she was indoctrinated in, she wanted to rebel against it and she wanted to find a way out. And she thought that she could do that through Michael. It's something else too. It's something else where initially whoever she belongs to, I'm hearing, because she is bound, they wanted her to connect with Michael. They did not want her to marry him though. They didn't want that because it's something about that. I spoke about it in the beginning, but they did want her to connect with him and they was hoping to use her to get to him. All right. Yeah, she felt burdened by life. And she also didn't know where her next check was going to come from. Like she was rich but broke. Like broke people rich. It's a horrible experience. Because a lot of them so prideful, they don't want to tell people that they actually broke. So they live way above their means and it just get worse and worse and worse. So inability to make decisions, a bad choices made. Michael could have also been like a rebound. Like, she just got out of a bad relationship. Um, she didn't feel good about herself. Like Michael really caught her at a vulnerable time and he seen that. He already knew that about her. All right, let's continue. The trickster card came out in shadow, manipulating others through the duplicity. So there was a lot of manipulation. See, what was Lisa mistake that, she didn't really know Michael. And Michael, his shade, his manipulation can be hard to pick up on. Um, because he do it in a way like he's talking his soft voice and everything like that. Like I don't feel like he would be like, well, shut the fuck up, bitch, or something. He more like, um, listen, you sound really ridiculous right now, and I think it's in your best interest if you just don't talk for the rest of the day. He would do something like that. Um, so it would be hard to kind of tell that he is manipulating you, he is controlling you. Um, this relationship was never based on love, though, especially when it comes to Michael. I don't think that Michael ever loved her. How did she feel about Michael? Ace of Wands came out. So there was an attraction, but I think that her energy was manipulated. So, but that's another thing about love spell, that the only thing that could be pulling you to a person is sexual energy. You shouldn't trust that. Like, you shouldn't trust that if you like somebody, but it's just sexual energy, you can't find any other reason why you like that person. Like, you might not even be attracted to them. Uh, you might don't even like what come out of their mouth. You might not even like their personality, but you feel like a strong sexual energy towards them. You need to question that. You need to question it. Like, don't trust that. And that would make you feel confused on your own, because you'll be like, well, damn, I want to have sex with them, but I don't even like talking to them. I don't trust them. I don't feel safe with them, you know? And that will create conflict. But that sexual energy can confuse you. So, when that happened, oh, my nose is so damn itchy. So, okay, when that happened, question it. Um, how did Michael feel about Lisa? What I'm actually getting from these cards is that, see, an inheritance, gift, or large sum of money leads to arguments. See that? Can I see it? Michael was trying to get his shit back. He was on a mission. See, this fell on top of this card. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Yeah, I be on motherfucking point, yo. So yeah, there ain't no motherfucking cup. It ain't no motherfucking cup, yo. It was out of straight greed. He didn't love her, you know. Okay, the Don Juan energy reverse, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Yo, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And Michael put a motherfucking love spell on her. I'm just gonna tell it. He did. Cause he chose her through the industry. Like, he told somebody what he wanted to do, and they was like, Lisa, she the best candidate because she hold this energy from this ancestor, yada yada yada. And I think he was told that all he had to do was, he was told that if he married her, that he would not go to jail. Mm. Oh, look, the martyr card here. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. he did some type of ritual. He performed some type of ritual on her, and I think it was through sex. And he gained enough spiritual power to stop him from going to jail. And he knew he was doing that, and that's why he did it. So, um, but how was it in the home with them? Like lonely? I felt like they didn't really spend a lot of time together because Michael was like a workaholic or whatever. What was the home life between them? See, yeah, like he was barely there. And I felt like at times he avoided her because of the guilt. He knew what he was doing. So yeah. How was the dynamic of the relationship at home, in private? I wasn't in private. I'm hearing hunting. Uh See, if Lisa was to tell you her story, she would have to speak on a spiritual aspect because after she started dealing with Michael, she started to get like hunted by certain spirits, and it will actually cause her a lot of fears. Um, she might even say that at some point, like after dealing with him, maybe she became like afraid of the dark, or she would be afraid to be alone, so she would call somebody over so she wouldn't be by herself. But um she also had to deal with the spell work of the love spell, trying to process it. But I felt like it really, like she would just feel waves of intense emotions in this situation, and she didn't have no outlet, because Michael wasn't a good conduit to express love to. He wasn't even a good conduit to express sexual energy to. So she would have all this emotion and feeling. And you know what? It was done on purpose. That's a part of the ritual because he would leave her alone. And when he away, the love spell is like working on her. So it's creating like these intense emotions. So when he do come back around, this came out reverse. So when he do come back around, he could harvest that energy. This was torturous for her because she was under a love spell and her energy was getting fucked with. So, and he would do this on purpose. So he would take her through these highs and lows. So she would go through these emotional highs. Then he would come back around. He would harvest her energy. And then she would go low instantly and fall into like a deep depression. Mm. Deep depression. I mean, like that. I think that it was a few times that she almost took her life because of this. And I think that she could have had even communicated this with him. And you know what he would do? Go disappear. Like I seen her trying to express herself to him and stuff like that, but he know what's going on. But she confused, you know, because she the sacrificial lamb. She confused, but he know what's going on. So he would just give her some lame ass shit like, be okay, is everything gonna be fine? Like, do you want me to pay for a vacation or something? Do you want me to like he would put like a band-aid on it or something like that, or do something really small to try to help her to feel better, but it wasn't shit, to be real. It wasn't motherfucking shit. Matter of fact, sometimes he would even take that opportunity to make her feel worse. Ooh. Oh, okay. All right, let's get into the separate cards. So, how was the relationship? See, I'm asking how was the relationship for Michael? The vampire card came out first. He was a literally vampire. He was energy harvesting that girl. Shadow, escapism, and false sense of heroism. I do feel some deep denial, some deep like he felt like he was on a mission and he felt like he had the right to be on that motherfucking mission. So he would really suppress any feelings of like feeling bad for her, even though he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing, offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal activity. See, and he purposely did things to break her so that he could harvest her energy. With this poet card, I'm getting the fact that um Michael had access to certain spells like with the words and stuff like that. That's how he casts his love spells. I'm telling you. See the hearts right here? He would do it by chanting something. He would chant something, maybe even a song or something like that. Um, I'm even hearing that there's a possibility. Like this is why Lisa got to tell her story because I do believe that there are times that they had sex together and Michael like would say something weird, like completely out of the fucking box, bitch. Like he might start talking in Latin or something like that. Something like just completely off. And she knew it was weird. She said scary. It was scary for her. Hmm. That mystic card keep coming up with Michael because I'm telling you, he had a whole lot of mystics in his motherfucking pocket. Like Michael was into the fucking occult. And then we had a child magical card come out again. Child, I don't even feel like explaining that again. Let's go on to Lisa, to her cards, po thing. Mm. The first card that actually came out is gossip. It's because well, at the time that they got together, Michael was going through trial. for molesting children. So mm, I do think that was hard on her because she would hear a lot of gossip. Awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honor and trust. But I also feel like this is something that made her feel stuck in a situation because there was times that she felt like leaving him, but she would feel guilty because she'd be like, well, I'm about to leave him when he going through the worst time in his life. But the whole time he never even gave a fuck about her, you know? Also, it was something else going on with the gossip that people was using it against her. Like I'm seeing that like let's say she about to do an interview, right? And she's sitting in the makeup room and then all of a sudden, like the makeup artist be like, let me go get something, I'll be right back. So the makeup artist will leave and now the room is quiet. But then all of a sudden, somebody started having a conversation in the hallway. And the conversation is about her and her situation. And this will put her in a certain vibration. This will put her in fear, actually. That's why when she did her interviews, she wouldn't truly express herself because they would do that to her. And it was a setup, but she didn't know. She felt also like she was a damsel. Like at the time when she got with Michael, she was very vulnerable and she felt like she needed to be saved. I think that she was also going through an addiction to something. It could be a pattern, it don't have to be a substance, but I am feeling like it was a substance. And then the bully card came out. Um, highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you to confront the inner fears that bully you. Conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. I felt like when she was in this relationship, she felt bullied, but it's like she was confused about it because the way that Michael is, it's like she couldn't always tell when he was manipulating her, when he was bullying her, when he was controlling her. She couldn't always tell, but she felt the energy. But, if she said something about it, she would be gaslighted. And it might not even be from Michael, but it would be from his crew. Like those people in the hall that's whispering, trying to make her feel a certain type of way. Those people are hired by his crew to manipulate her. So that's why she felt like this bully like energy. Well, all right, we're just gonna get into their sex life real quick. Cause I know people curious, child. Okay, so what their sex life was like. All right, what their sex life was like. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. All right, you remember earlier I pulled that faster and harder card? See this dude, he got a whip, but it's people in the background watching. I just don't feel like their sex life was private because like in this card, there's people in the background, and then this card came out, and somebody is in the background with the Ouija board. So it was highly ritualistic. I feel like at times it could be like really rough, but I'm actually thinking that she enjoyed that part. I don't know. I just got the vibe that sometimes he would like for her to be kind of childlike. Mm. And he might even got her to like act like a child or something like that. Because I do feel like he dominated, but it was I want to say it was demeaning. But again, like if you was on the outside looking in, you really wouldn't be able to see it, you know? I kind of want to say that there was some form of like dominatrix in it. Like there could have been a whip used or something in that form or nature. Mm. And just for some reason, this cloth that this dude have on just give me diaper vibes. So it's like something about like childish. I don't know, like, and it's like these look like really young people in the background. Mm. Also, there was a lot of breadcrumbing. This came out reverse. Um, it was just like a lot of feeling of lack. It could have also been like a lack of foreplay, like a lack of building up to the sexual energy and stuff. And it was kind of like rush into it. It was also that type of energy. What I get with this card is frustration, um, and lonely nights. I do feel like there was a lot of times that Lisa would like long for him and she would want to express herself to him. Like, I don't know if they had text messages back then, but maybe she wanted to leave him a memo, I heard. Like, there was times that she was angry when he wasn't there and she wanted to let him know how he was making her feel. It was just a lot of sadness and depression in this relationship, but it was just so much confusion. And I think that's why she lived in that hell for so long because she's so confused about different aspects. But the reason why she confused is because she refused to see the truth. It's like she don't really want to see Michael for what he is. Yeah, this is the Three of Swords. It's reversed, but like there was just a lot of emotional manipulation, a lot of sadness, loneliness, and I think the reason why this came up in reverse is because she didn't feel like he really desired her, and she tried to be desirable to him, but she never really felt like he was really desiring her. And then the King of Cups came out reverse. There was a lot of emotional manipulation. I even think that sometimes he might seemingly get turned on by demeaning her, making her feel bad, but that's because he was just so insecure. He was painfully insecure. So it's like the only way for him to really get into the mood is that he had to make her feel like less than. All right. So Michael, how did Michael view the sets? See, there was like some type of like dominatrix or something involved. The tighter the rope, the better it feels. Michael, feelings. How did you end up in my bed again? Michael, feelings. I'm stuck in a karmic situation and never doubt that I want you, but there was a lot of doubts and she had every reason. And I think that also that they will go long periods of time without having sex because he would kind of like avoid it. And I felt like that's why she felt as if he wasn't desiring her. He didn't want her in that way. And I also think that's why this card came out. How did you end up in my bed again? Because, every time that they would have sex, it was like a struggle. And at the end of it, it's like she would be amazed that they even had the chance to have sex or something like that. Okay, so how did Lisa feel about the sex? Mm, disappointed child. Yo, the sex life was extremely disappointing. She was not satisfied at all. He made her feel bad. And then when they would actually have sex, it just wasn't a connection. And she would question why she even longed for him. Like, see, not just that, is that I believe that he started to attach like sexual demons to her. And that's why she felt like she never be the same again. Because after she started dealing with Michael, I feel like she started to have like nightmares. She started to have like maybe even seeing ghosts or something like that. Mm. With this card, I'm not getting gold digger. What I'm, even though I feel like that's an aspect of it, but I'm understanding towards it because or whatever her situation is, she thought she was going to be able to gain something from this, but be that as it may, um, there was a point in a relationship that she felt like she wasn't getting anything. Like she was just depleted all the time. Um, she felt very unhappy, but she tried to focus on being secure. Because this is the Queen of Pentacles reverse. So she was like, this relationship sucks. But if I stick it out, then maybe at least I will have some security. um, I just don't think because I don't think that they had kids together. No. So I don't think that she really got much out of the situation, period. And she probably could have got something from out of writing a book or something telling the truth. Because I feel like if she was to speak from her heart and tell it how it really is, that people was will connect to it. People will believe her. People will understand her. But she has to have the balls to do it. And she shouldn't like let's say if she watched this and now she like, okay, well she said that everybody would accept me, so let me go ahead and do it. You're not supposed to do shit out of that. Not because somebody else convinced you. You have to be to a point that you do something regardless if you will fail or succeed because you're doing it for your peace of mind. You're doing it for your soul advancement. You're doing it for other reasons outside of security and validation. So, yeah. But she got some spiritual work to do. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Cause this reading already been long as fuck. So yeah, stay blessed, y'all.